This is the facelifted Alfa Romeo Stelvio, one of the few SUVs worthy of the S in the acronym.
SUV is, of course, a sport utility vehicle. I'm not questioning the utility bit, because these cars usually offer more utility than an ordinary sedan or hatchback, but the sport bit is often very vague.
However, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio is one of the few worthy exceptions. Along with the Giulia sports sedan, these are probably two best drivers cars currently on the market. One may have certain reservations as to other aspects of the Stelvio experience, and I will tell you all about them later in the video. But if you are buying a car purely based on driving pleasure, the Stelvio offers the most fun for the money in the SUV segment.
If you look at basic specs, the Stelvio is one of the largest cars in the segment, but it is also the lightest, the most powerful, and the quickest, with a 2-liter turbo engine without any electric help. Even the Volvo XC60 PHEV is only as quick as the Alfa, and let's be honest, you don't buy a Volvo because driving engagement is your priority.
More powerful and quicker competitors have 3-liter engines, in which case the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio comes in and wipes the floor with just about everyone. But the specs don't tell you how fun this car is to drive. The Stelvio has a 12:1 steering ratio, which is quicker than the 14.3:1 Porsche Macan steering, which is basically very quick, very direct, and you need to turn the wheel just 12 degrees to get the front wheels turned by 1 degree. In a normal car, the steering ratio is about 20:1. This means on this twisty section of the track, I'm having more fun than in any other car I reviewed here, and I did review a few sporty ones like the BMW M3 or the Hyundai i20N. But even driving around the town, the Stelvio is fun. The car turns almost before you think. And then there's a 280 horsepower engine with 400 newton-meters of torque that just wants you to go fast. It may be a bit slow to respond in normal mode, but put it in dynamic and it's as quick to react as that steering. And in manual mode, the gearbox holds the gears. Why don't we have that in all cars?
During normal driving, the all-wheel drive system is rear biased. You have to start pushing hard to get the 50-50 front-rear torque split. Something I noticed, with direct steering like in the Stelvio and the on-demand all-wheel drive, a couple of times I started to understeer when I was expecting to oversteer. It seems I was turning the steering wheel too much because I'm used to a higher ratio.
Except for the Quadrifoglio version, which has a race mode as well as the dynamic mode, the regular Stelvio doesn't have any ESP or traction control settings other than the dynamic mode. I've seen videos where people would disconnect the battery and then they would cause an error which would disconnect the ESP, but we are not going to do that here. Anyway, with limited ESP settings, i.e. there is only a dynamic mode, there is no way to have launch control.
Alfa claims the 280 horsepower Stelvio will do 0 to 100 km/h in 5.7 seconds. In dynamic mode, I got close. I'm sure on a warmer day and maybe on summer tires, I'd get a better result. Depending on the engine version, Stelvio can tow between 1.6 and 2.3 tons, except for the Quadrifoglio, which has a sports exhaust and a diffuser, and therefore there is no place to mount a tow hook. The WLTP combined cycle fuel consumption should be 9.2 liters per 100 kilometers. In real life, it's going to be 10 or more, but the Stelvio really encourages you to be naughty behind the wheel.
The suspension copes with bumps very well and the car doesn't lean too much in the corners. Only under very sharp braking, the nose starts to dive, the brakes bite quite late, the ABS and hazard lights come on, and it's obvious from the distance that you've been silly and now it's code brown. Visibility is good for an SUV with a sloping roofline. Why don't more people drive the Stelvio? Well, because driving fun is one thing and everyday life is another. There are cars out there which deliver 80% of what the Stelvio does in terms of driving fun, but they're much better in other departments. For example, modern driver aids. The Stelvio does have some sort of traffic jam assist as well as adaptive cruise control and active lane keeping assist, but that works mainly on motorways. On normal roads it just gets lost, it doesn't see the lines. When the engine is cold, it rattles like a diesel. Every morning I have to remind myself that this is a petrol car that I'm reviewing. These huge paddles look the business and make shifting easier, but they also obstruct access to indicators and wiper switches. Also, after a few laps down here, I can smell the brakes are burning, so I have to do a cool down lap, and I really didn't push it that hard. The cockpit, depending on who's asking, is either old school or outdated. I like the analog dials and some simple information on the display between them. I like the physical climate control knobs and buttons, including those for the heated seats and the steering wheel. I also like the simple infotainment system, but the instruments are simple because there aren't many advanced driver aids which the competition offers. The climate control works full blast but never seems to actually control the climate. On a cold morning, it takes the seats and the steering wheel more time to heat up than it does for the engine to stop rattling. The infotainment system may be simple, but it also lacks many settings or customization options.
Storage under the armrest and the glove box are on the small side. The door pockets are just big enough for my water bottle. I like the place for the phone. There are also 3 USB ports in the front, including 1 USB-C. The seats are terrible. The headrests stick out too much and I have to recline more than I'd like. And this in turn means having to sit closer to the dashboard because the steering wheel reach adjustment is insufficient. If I want to have the backrest more upright, as it should be, then my upper back doesn't touch the backrest. The doors don't cover the sills, just like in BMW SUVs. Alfa boasts using lightweight aluminum, but the doors are so light I have to slam them harder. And I can't find the settings to disable the folding mirrors and the beeping when closing the car. Legroom and headroom in the back are sufficient, but why does the backrest make noises? At least the backrest splits 40-20-40, and there are cup holders and a phone holder in the middle section. There are levers to fold the seats in the passenger compartment, but the backrests aren't spring-loaded. Levers are also in the boot, along with shopping bag hooks and a 12-volt socket. Officially, the boot volume is 525 liters, but in real life it's about 480 liters above the floor. The rest is under the floor, where the optional €350 mini spare lives. I like there is a separate button to close the tailgate and lock the car. Prices of the Alfa Romeo Stelvio start at €54,500 for the 200 horsepower petrol, $2,000 more for the diesel, $93,500 if you want to go all out on a quadrifoglio. This 280 horsepower Ti starts at €58,500, and with options it costs about €62,400.
Several months ago, when I was choosing my car, I did consider the Stelvio for a while, but I dismissed it because of all the pet peeves I mentioned. However, if you're looking for a car based purely on how it handles, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio is the tits. And how do you like the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and why isn't there one in your driveway? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.